1971. We woke up in a different world, where the Cold War ended along with the Vietnam carnage. All because of the Dome. The Dome. A territory full of anomalous artifacts, phenomena, and organisms. We still don't know what it is. An alien city? Some kind of a testing ground or storage? Whatever it is, no living thing trapped under the Dome can escape it. Yet even this did not stop the research. The major powers created the CRONUS Corporation to develop and explore the Dome. Its secrets became a lucrative business. The Spire station was built on top of the Dome to export the artifacts and import supplies and personnel. The city of Crystal Sands grew at the foot of the Dome, eventually becoming a major transportation hub. All this required thousands of employees, and there was no shortage of candidates. Romantics, pragmatists, and adventurers of all trades swarmed recruiting centers around the globe, seeking jobs at CRONUS. You were one of those people. In 1976, your application was approved, and you went under the Dome towards the future. Whether a good one or a bad one, only time will tell. A thin, pale young woman is sitting at the window, leaning against the illuminator. The glass is slightly fogged with her breath. She turns to you. Her shiny badge reads, Tomoko Kimura, physiologist.
We've crossed the border. No way back now. Even traveling by the funicular wasn't so thrilling.
The white presses small hands to her blushing cheeks.
You were thinking, why have no children been born under the Dome? I've got a working hypothesis, but I'm not ready to share it yet.
She says softly, as if answering a question you didn't ask. Kimura peers through the glass in the direction you indicate.
Oh, that's the aircraft that crashed into the Dome during the first expedition. I believe that's a wing fragment, and there's some white canvas. What do you think that is? Maybe a parachute?
The white shakes her head, bewildered.
I just can't believe it. It's all true. We're on our way to meet the future.
Kimura shoots you a surprised look.
You're familiar with the details of the briefing, right? To put it simply, the Dome is a selectively permeable environment.
The white draws an invisible hemisphere in the air.
Inorganic objects may exit the Dome without difficulty, but any living creature dies if transported back to the outside world. That's why we're all stuck here for an indefinite period of time.
Kimura listens without interrupting, as if considering your every word.
It's quite possible. I would like to set up an experiment to test this in practice.
She cuts off, abruptly. You exchange glances with the rapidly blushing Kimura.
Not in that sense. I mean, yes, in that sense, but it is science, you know? It's quite serious.
She blushes even more.
No thanks.
A guy wearing thick spectacles thrusts out a sweaty hand. He glances down at your badge.
Ah, it's you. I found your file extremely interesting, and your CV, wonderful. Inspiring, really. When I had the opportunity to look over the files of my future colleagues, I couldn't resist. I don't want to sound boastful, but silver level clearance has its advantages.
Monty winks. James spreads his arms regretfully.
Ah, you misunderstood. I don't carry the physical copies with me, but I did get a chance to familiarize myself with them. Ask away. Sorry, classified.
He's plainly flattered by your question.
Harvard. Then I worked in the economics department at Supercolor. They produced a special television model for commuter buses. Did you know that? That was my research. What else? Well...
A man with a mustache and a blue jumpsuit is standing at the window, studying the construction site below through the occasional break in the clouds. His badge reads Igor Patan, planner. The blue taps on the glass with one finger and gestures you to come and take a look. Seems like he doesn't speak English. Using sign language, mimicry, and all of your artistic talent, you're able to communicate with the planner. Once he's sure you're watching, Patanin points up in the direction of Spire Station, from which you departed a few minutes ago. He sketches the outline of the station on a broad, foggy section of glass. Once he's finished, the blue turns to you with a delighted expression. The engineer stops you with a gesture, and after rummaging through his pockets, offers you a small candy. There is a picture of a crayfish on the white wrapper. Is this candy crayfish flavored? It's surprisingly spongy and tooth-achingly sweet. You can only wonder what it has to do with crayfish. The orange is dressed in a new jumpsuit. The shiny badge on his chest reads Quentin Bisley. He's side-eyeing the screen skeptically. Despite his tired, grim expression, his gaze is open and friendly. However, the general impression is unmistakable. There's something frightening about Bisley. Quentin raises his hands to examine the devices.
They call them humane handcuffs. How about that? Truth is, there ain't nothing humane about them. They zap you real hard the moment you get your hands on a gun. But they sure look nice.
Bisley lowers his hands again and smirks. The orange's face stretches into a broad smile, baring his dentures to the world.
Like everyone, duh. In a black car, under guard. There's other guys, too. The ones who go through the front door.
He nods at the black-winged woman beside him. Her nose wrinkles in displeasure, but she says nothing. A tall woman is watching an ad playing on the monitor, arms crossed. The polished to a shine badge on her black overalls reads Elsa Olafson, Security Service. She glances at you and offers her hand in a businesslike manner.
Greetings. Please take all necessary precautions. By that I mean, don't turn your back on him.
Elsa nods at the orange. Elsa's eyes spark angrily.
Are you saying you will take full responsibility for the possible consequences of that order? Was that a nod? Does that mean yes?
Olafson turns to the orange, produces a key, and unlocks his cuffs in a smooth, well-practiced motion. Olafson eyes your silvery jumpsuit and snorts.
Really? I thought you'd be the one to tell me about it. After all, your department has access to all the orders and personal files.
Her gaze shifts to the silver standing opposite and then back to you before she turns indignantly to the window. Stopping by the door's porthole, you watch as the ground slowly approaches. It looks brown-black through the tinted glass and smoky blue at the horizon. It almost seems like the clouds are pulling apart there. You can discern the regular pattern of a settlement in the mists, hanging over the northern section. If this is the city, it's nowhere near as miraculous as the brochure. Just a few concrete buildings surrounded by sheds. It resembles the hab pods of a space colony in a sci-fi film. Yet, the scale is impressive. In only 5 years, a small civilization has arisen from these bleak sands to tackle mankind's greatest project. The blues and oranges did their share of the physical labor, but the main credit belongs to the brilliant administrators from Silverwing. At least, that's what you were told during the pre-departure briefing. Just as you're about to move away from the window, you notice a whirlwind beginning to form above the ochre plain. The gathering storm drifts unhurriedly above the desert, a crown of green lightning flashing at its core. Clearly no ordinary weather phenomenon. It must be one of those anomalies. You freeze by the window, unable to avert your gaze. The outlines of the landing site, blurred by clouds of dust, appear behind the greenish glass of the porthole. The capsule shudders as the braking devices engage.
Come here. Come on now, or you'll miss everything.
A cheerful man in a white lab coat grabs you by the sleeve. A badge reading Ludovico Nuzzi, scientific analyst, export department, dangles loosely on his clean uniform, which still smells pungently of washing powder.
Look over there.
He points upward with a sharp, wide gesture and hands you his field binoculars. You raise the binoculars to your eyes. Under fourfold magnification, the whirling cloud above the rust-colored plains looks even stranger. Its core glows with flickering green light and flashes rhythmically, and that rhythm seems to form a complicated pattern. Nuzzi bends close to your ear.
Fascinating. Do you want me to bring some filters? If we intercept the red and blue spectrums, we'll see something amazing. It's like a signal, some kind of message.
Nuzzi looks from you to the capsule and to the landing terminal entrance. He flings his arms up.
Oh, mi scusi. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. You'd better get going or you'll be late for check-in. Your colleagues are already inside, and the storm is growing stronger. Yeah, the storm is growing stronger.
The white mutters in fascination, eyes glued to his binoculars, which is fixed on the spinning whirl of clouds.
Good day. Come back again.
Mr. Rayhead, would you bring me a cup of coffee, please? Colleague? Well, never mind.
Hello, come up to the desk, please.
A tall receptionist watches you from behind his desk with a bored, haughty look. He waves impatiently at you to approach. Noticing your silvery uniform, he offers up his best artificial smile.
Welcome. My name's Dean Rayhead. It's my job to help our new employees settle in. Please wait a moment or two while I register you.
The administrator slaps himself on the forehead.
I almost forgot the regulation pre-registration greeting. Just a second.
Rayhead produces a reel-to-reel tape recorder from beneath the desk, rewinds the tape to the beginning, and presses play. The speakers explode with a harsh, crackling sound, over which the tick-tick of a metronome slowly grows louder. Solemn music begins to play, and the administrator's face takes on a serious expression.
Dear employee, on behalf of the CRONUS Foundation, I, Administrator Dean Rayhead, welcome you to your new life under the dome.
The administrator clears his throat and continues.
By joining our company, you choose the path of science and progress. You are among mankind's best, and we ask that you live up to this.
Dean squints down at the monitor.
Deserve this title. Do your job honestly. Obey the law. Respect your colleagues and...
The music fades, and the administrator finishes his speech.
And together we will build the best possible future for all mankind.
Dean puts the tape recorder away.
Now that we're done with the official greeting, I'll register you and upgrade your Selectron. Okay?
Dean's hands hover over the keyboard. He gives you a nod. You squeeze into the narrow window, lean over the reception desk, and key your data into the database. After entering Proceed, you return to your seat. Dean mutters discontentedly to himself as he moves back to his terminal. Rayhead scans the computer screen.
So your position in the waiting list was 63,784. You've been assigned to Magellan Station. A special bus will bring you there after a series of briefings. Please pass me your Selectron so I can update the firmware.
Dean snaps the docking port of your pass to a recess in the casing of his computer. The administrator returns your Selectron.
So, colleague, you now have first-level clearance, which gives you access to the archives on the administrative level, the warehouses, and basically everywhere else except the secure facilities. You also have admin privileges at most terminals.
Dean continues.
All new employees have a short list of tasks to perform on arrival. Do you want to hear all the details or just the short version?
Rayhead snorts.
To make it short, get your uniform from storage, your weapons from the armory, pass the Psi abilities test, and complete your weapons training at the training zone. Then learn how to use the scanner, avoid anomalies, and properly catalog anything you observe. Last, go to the waiting room and wait for the bus to Magellan.
Dean sits back in his armchair.
That's it. I hope there aren't any questions.
Rayhead claps his hands in satisfaction.
Great.
He reaches for the tape recorder, but thinks better of it.
Protocol calls for a little welcoming preamble, but dash it all, that's nonsense. Welcome to Concord Station.
As he's about to turn away, Dean suddenly remembers something.
Oh yes, I sent your mail to your Kairos. Check your new messages. Well, that's all, I think.
Oh, never thought this would happen.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, life will be forfeit.
Come on, don't be shy. See ya.
Our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place.
Soon become a city. But that was only the beginning. Around the
Behind the storage counter, you see a small, neat guy. His gingery hair shines with something like brilliantine. His badge says, Sidney Maynard, storekeeper. The silver perks up at your approach. A thick logbook appears at once from under the counter. Sidney puts on thick glasses that seem to age him 5 decades in an instant and studies the lined pages. The silver finally stops and pins down a particular page with his finger.
This is your first uniform requisition, right? You can also purchase any equipment you need for the desert directly from me.
Maynard adjusts his glasses in a businesslike manner.
And before I give you the uniform, please listen to these short instructions.
Sidney fiddles with his hairstyle.
So, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Life under the dome can be dangerous. You may get shot, spill acid on yourself, get electrocuted, or suffer the effects of a dangerous anomaly. You may also freeze to death or get fried.
Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place.
That's why it's important to wear protective equipment when traveling outdoors. Of course, in hazardous situations, the equipment will get damaged, and the more it's damaged, the more often one has to repair it.
The silver steps back from his counter to indicate the repair kit boxes piled in the back of the warehouse. He points back at the shelves behind him.
We've got repair kits for this gear. There are Blue Wing specialists ready to help you at any large base, of course, but they're not always available. So, you'd better learn how to use repair kits and workbenches on your own. It's a useful skill.
Sidney rests the logbook on the desk.
That's all the instructions. Now, I'm going to issue your uniform.
The silver disappears into the back for a while and returns with a small package. Unfolding the package, Maynard shows you a brand spanking new uniform. A silver suit jacket with coal black shirt and dark trousers. Sidney studies the way the light reflects from the cloth as he lovingly smooths the jacket with one hand.
The Silver Wing uniform is fit for field conditions, just in case. But something this fine, you should treat with care, you know.
He raises a finger.
One more important thing. In accordance with Order 16-225, helmets and gloves are not issued, but they're available for purchase from me. Please bear in mind that a full set includes headgear or a mask, jacket, trousers, gloves, and boots.
Sidney hands you the package.
Here's your uniform.
Sidney adjusts his glasses.
Sure, I'll show you what we've got. You know, we're pretty well stocked here in Concord. Take a look.
Sidney scribbles something in his logbook.
Please come back anytime if you need something.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully.
Anything urgent, Mr. Krachkov?
Katarzyna, did you mark it as Class 1 again, instead of 2? Look, here's the scanner data. It says the relic is a scientific device.
Wait, but it's still Class 1. I'm not going to violate protocol.
Katarzyna, my dear, you may violate protocol as long as it benefits the company. Take your lead from your colleagues. Correct your report if you have to, and don't act so innocent.
Vladimir, I'm done. How do we mark it?
Class 2 fragile. Tell Noyan the relic should go out with today's flight. Think about it. A Class 2 relic will mean a bigger payoff for the company, and that means a bonus in your wages. Categorizing it as Class 2 means access to state-sealed bids. I bet the Brits will buy it. They're always trying to one-up us.
All right, Mr. Krachkov. I'll correct my report.
Carl, add sealed bids to the marking.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully.